Someone asked me how to break up with someone. Now, you're not going to like this answer, but I think it's the mature answer. And it's mostly in Neil Strauss's book, The Truth, which is that if you are honestly communicating with your partner, there usually is no need to break up, unless they're a psycho, in which case it would be pretty obvious and you would have broken up with them anyway because hanging around them is just too stressful. But most of the time when you're thinking, should I break up with someone? No, I don't think that you should. Because I think that what should happen is that if you are, what you should see it as is an opportunity to get really honest with the person that you're in a relationship with. If you are wondering about that, it's probably because, and a lot of people will say that it's gutless, but I think that the more, let's put it this way, just on a scale of cowardliness, doing nothing, pretty cowardly, breaking up, pretty ballsy, but I think just getting really honest with a person and saying, these are the things that I don't like about you as a person. Now that is going to be a painful discussion. Always is, but it's the kind of discussion that I like to call a vomiting discussion. You know when you just feel like you're just like, oh man, I shouldn't have eaten that many burritos. And then you start debating with yourself of whether like, should I hold it in or no, I think I'm gonna go. And then you just put those two magic fingers down those golden tonsils and you feel instantly better, even when it's coming out. Thank you. That's what I think most of those situations are in relationships. It's this thing of just like this, should I or shouldn't I? I'm gonna vomit. But finally, when you do vomit, even in the situation where you're just sitting there yelling at each other, fuck you, how could you say that? You're so mean. Any of that, that's good. That is really good. Because if you are supposed to break up, if you're honest about the reasons for breaking up without using that as the parameter of just saying that I am breaking up with you because of these reasons. Instead, you just sit there and you say, I don't like these things about you. The things that make you want to break up with that person, you tell them, these are the reasons that I don't like you. And be prepared to sit there and accept criticism. Because the other thing that's probably going to happen is that they're just going to unload all of these things that you do that are annoying. And they're probably not wrong. Just like you're probably not wrong about yours. And I will say this, as a little proviso, there's probably a bit of a 30% buffer there that's just like specifically to you that's annoying. But whatever, if you're going to be in a relationship with that person, you're going to have to work out whether or not those things are tangible. So I think that usually when I see most of these people that break up with someone, the ones that I'm always like, yup, that was the good move. It was when they were honest with their partner and they both, as a result, mutually come to the conclusion that, yeah, we probably should break up. They were honest about it. And as a result of being honest about it, there's no ill will between you two. It's just, these people didn't gel well. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure that you learned a lot and grew a lot and probably was a waste of time. I don't know. But I do know this, that if you can't be honest with that person in the relationship, even when you find the one, the same pattern usually emerges. Why? I talk about this all the time, because you bring yourself to the next relationship. So if it didn't work out, I really think that one of the only solid reasons, apart from, spousal abuse or whatever, but one of the only solid reasons really in most functional relationships that you should be breaking up is because you're two different people. You're on two different paths in life. So that's fine. But most of the time, I think that a lot of it is kind of just like, they don't understand me. But what's happening really is that you just haven't communicated with that person. And relationships are all about communication, aren't they? Aren't they? Did you ever think about that? Did you ever think about that really obvious point before? No, you didn't. That's why you come to the good old friendly Shorties on his other channel to tell you what you already know. Thanks for the clicks and looking at the ads. Get your ad blocker off, stop being a bastard. All right. Yes. That's the first point, that you need to be honest with your partner. The second point is, if you are going to break up with someone, I think what would happen in most of those situations is usually what you do, and this happens all the time, is that there's sort of like a bit of a lie that is attached to the breakup. Now, you should be trying to eliminate those, and it is because of you. Because you, going into the next relationship, have just registered in your mind that it's okay to lie to your significant other. The whole point of a significant other At least, in the modern context of it, because we're not exchanging cows and paddocks. But I think that one of the main things in the modern context of why you would be in a relationship is so you have a confidant. I don't even know if that's the right word. I don't think it is, actually. Anyway, but somebody who you can confide in. Must be it. Anyway, you got to find somebody that you can confide in. Well, are you confiding in somebody if you are coming up with the, look, it's not you, it's me? No. You're not, are you? You should be getting honest with that person, because the other thing that you will find when you are honest with that other person is, a lot of the time, these things have just been built up in your head, and it isn't because you just haven't vomited them out. That's it. So it just feels a lot worse. It's the same with vomiting. It is exactly the same with vomiting. You feel really sick, you get rid of all of that vomit, you feel, 70% better instantly? That's what you should be doing in your relationships. Every time that I see a relationship that is broken up and there was that level of dishonesty around it, you can just tell. You can tell instantly that's going to happen again. And guess what? It does. In the grand scheme of times, because they haven't really evolved as a person, they haven't sat there and listened to criticism from the other person and given criticism to the other person, they haven't gone through that growing phase. As a result, they are stuck in the same phase that they were. And so they make the same mistakes in the same relationship, because usually you just start dating essentially the same person over and over again for the rest of your life. So this is the whole thing. Even if you do break up with this person, just understand, even the next time you get into a relationship, it'll probably be with someone who's quite similar to that. They could be completely different if you're one of those people that's like really into variety, if that's one of your 6 human needs, and you're just dating a bikie and then the next time you're dating a politician. That definitely does happen, but it still goes to the core of there is something wrong with you, because those people are constantly just churning through relationships. This person's boring now. This person's a psycho. This person's weird. It's always something about them. This is what I want to get at. In the main point of the breakup is that when it comes to breakups, a lot of the time, it isn't so much them as it is you. There are things that you need to work on. And the only way that you are able to work on those things is if you are honest. If you are honest, if you get to the root of the problems in the relationship, you can at least at that point understand that you have a map of the relationship. And when you're both just looking at the map, just like it is with most situations, unless you're with most psychos, you can, in politics and anything else, you can go like, look, here are the facts. What conclusion would you come to? And most of the time, people come to the same conclusion. So if you just lay out all the facts, if you just lay out your truth and her truth, and you just see and then when that happens, usually you come to the right decision anyway. So if you are asking me about whether or not you should be breaking up with someone, that is the wrong question. The real question that you should be asking yourself is, how truthful are you with your significant other? All right. Thank you for your question. Give me more questions, and I want you, if you are in this situation, to take the first step. I want you to just write out, so you can at least have it clearly in your head, the things that, don't question it as why I want to break up with this person, but what are the things that are making me want to break up with that person? You will probably notice that if you have previous partners, that there will be some consistent themes there. And those are things that you should probably work on, or at least talk to your partner and say that, hey, these are the things that I have issue with. What do you have issue with? And then you can see if you can resolve those things together. But just understand, that is a natural part of a relationship. And I really think that a major reason that there are so many divorces today is because, A, it's socially acceptable. But I think that there is this other thing of this expectation that relationships are supposed to be rosy. That's not really the function of them. The function of them is to kind of just grow a life with someone else. And you kind of need to understand that there is going to be a lot of problems in that process. But as a result of doing that, I think that it kind of just matures like a fine wine. It's that 2 heads are better than 1 thing. And as a result of that, you have all of these special moments that you can look back on in your life and you think, yeah, that was a lot better because that person was there. Anyway, like the video, give me more questions.